Empower CEOs, the truth behind the business. I'm Jen Gaudet, your fearless host, entrepreneur, investor, and business strategist. Why are we here? Because iron sharpens iron. And when we bring industry leaders, executives, entrepreneurs, and investors here to share what's working in business, and even some of what's not, we're all able to learn and grow. As a result, our businesses grow. And that ripple effect impacts not only ourselves, our teams, and their families, but also our communities and our world. You're in for a treat today. Whether you're writing a novel, a business book, or your next viral blog post, the blank page can feel brutal. But what if AI could remove the bottlenecks without killing your creative spark? Today we're going to be talking with Giddings, author of Festivals and Trials, about how AI tools are transforming the writing process from rough draft to final edit. G.A., welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Jen. I'm so happy to be here.
Okay, so we're going to start with the first question that I know everybody is going to be asking. What is it that surprised you the most when you first started using AI tools in your writing process?
So my expectation is it was going to do everything for me. It absolutely does not. It's another tool that takes away a lot of the laborious type stuff and makes it easier for you.
Okay, so it's a tool. Talk to me. What are the most powerful AI tools for writers right now?
So I use ChatGPT, I use Grok, I started using Meta AI as well, and so they each have different things they are strong at. I find ChatGPT is very strong for writing, and so if I'm ideating or trying to sketch out a new scene, I'll ask questions. I have to prompt it, I have to say, hey, act like a scene writer would have you to kind of frame it, and I get better output that way.
And so you've leveraged multiple tools.
Yes.
And talk to me about how they've evolved, because you started this process a couple years ago at the beginning. Talk to me about what it was like when you first started writing the book, right up to completion of the novel and getting it published.
Yeah, it was like failing forward constantly. And so it was, I started when ChatGPT first came out, it was 2-3 years ago now, and it was limited and because it was like a dare. It was like, you can write a book with this. Like, no, you can't. Let me try. And so it started off as just this kind of dare thing, but it evolved. And so as the tools started to get better, I started to realize I needed some other things, like I invested in Scrivener, and then, so I started organizing myself a little bit differently. And then as well as going to a few classes, how do I use AI better? I'm using it, but it's not giving me what I'm expecting to get out of it. So it was a little bit of a learning curve, but now it's great. It saves so much time.
So talk to me, how do you preserve your own tone and voice when using AI to help you with editing, structure, grammar, formatting? Yeah,
so it's not a panacea. You can't just go into ChatGPT and say, make a novel. It doesn't work that way. So it's very strategic, or very at a granular level. So I do things at the scene level, and I'll say, sketch this out. So now, which would have maybe taken me, say, 4 hours just to get a structure of what I was doing, that's gone in seconds. So now that I have this canvas, if you will, the scene's kind of built, now I can go in and just do dialogue, because I want that to be my voice. So what would you say is an analogy for business for that?
Well, I mean, we talk about this in marketing all the time. A lot of people are just going in and prompting GPT, create a marketing strategy and create all my posts for me.
Yep.
But they're not actually putting in what their business is, or their tone is, or using examples, or even feeding some of their own expertise in to make it personalized to their business. And so what they're getting is generalized trope. It's just sludge.
Yeah, okay.
And you can spot it a mile away. That's when you go on, LinkedIn, for example, and you scroll, and every post has the same exact format. It's da-da-da-da-da-da. It's got the dash.
It'll just do it for you.
And it's very general, and it doesn't really tell you anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really important when we're integrating with these tools that we recognize what AI can do and what it can't do. Mm-hmm. So you said that AI is not a panacea. It doesn't do everything for you. What are the things that AI shouldn't be doing when we're writing, whether we're writing copy for our businesses or a business book or fiction?
So for as an author, it's your own voice. And so what are the things that it should be taking away to allow you to do the 1%, the thing I really have to be doing, which is creating? So punctuation is now gone. It takes care of all that. Editing, taking, I don't know, like little paragraphs, like I don't like the way that kind of sounds, try it like this. And then once your structure's there, I'm going back in to do like the surgical things, the very high level things. I can also look at it more expansively. So I can say, hey, look at this chapter, look at these 2 chapters, tell me about flow, give me some ideas. And then also go into the network and see what others are doing and give me a comparison. And what that does is it gives me something I can look at very quickly and say, oh, I see this, I didn't even consider this. And so what it's done is, and I see this in my career life as well, like you get project eyes, you get so focused on the thing that you can't pull yourself out to have the space to see it differently. AI helps with that big time.
Okay, so give me an example of some of the things that AI should not be doing if we are, or maybe let's frame it this way. What are some of the common mistakes that people could be making with AI, maybe that you made yourself early on in the process, that we could kind of skip ahead and not make those same mistakes?
I think it's trusting it implicitly. So like when you start using it and you see that it's, wow, did you see what it did? Is AI is not a perfect thing. So like you'll go, and if you just trust it without verifying, it's going to have gobbledygook at some point. So there is a point where you have to go back and very carefully go through what it's putting out. So like in this creative process, it'll make up terms and it'll say, is this a good term? Oh yeah. And then you go look at it, it's like, wait a minute, that was used by somebody else. I can't use that term. So you do. It's not, again, it's a tool. It does make things more efficient, but you have to back check it.
Mm-hmm. And if you're writing, especially if you're writing a business book, you want to make sure that it's not copywritten information,
yes.
And it's not just lifting, because it will plagiarize and it will lift and it won't cite sources.
That's right.
Or it'll cite fictitious sources.
Yes, it'll make stuff up.
And so what are some of the ways that you have kind of tweaked, or some of the prompts, if you will, that you put in to check against it making up terms and
yeah,
such?
so this is a thing, if you're new to AI and you just like type in stuff, it'll just give you whatever. But if you go in and you say stuff, it's called prompt engineering, and you say like, act as, I'll give you an example, act as a best-selling sci-fi genre publisher's editor and focus on character arc. Look at these 3 chapters and tell me what's happening here. So if you take that analogy to your business, you can be like, find these legal terms or find this story. Did it copy it from somewhere? Something like that. You have to give it something very surgical. And so what you're doing is you're using AI in passes. Like I have my editor person looks through. Then I have like my, punctuation person. Just imagine the analogy for business, and you're doing multiple passes with these different roles, almost like you have a virtual team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you have, for example, a copywriter, and then you have somebody who's a social media manager, and you have somebody who's doing the different posts for the different formats, because otherwise it gets muddy.
Correct.
And it ends up mixing things up.
Right.
We see that all the time. And so we're talking right now about takeaways from GA, because it's important to you. And some of the things that I wanted to kind of pull away is AI is here. It is a tool that we should be leveraging, but it is not something that we can just rely on it to be the be all end all. So how can you use it as an entrepreneur? You can audit your content library, the podcasts that you've done, the emails, the trainings, maybe all of that can be pulled together to make your book as an entrepreneur. AI can help you structure it, but it's using your content. You have to feed it your voice, your content. Use tools like Claude, ChatGPT, Grok, whatnot, and turn stream of consciousness voice memos into a more polished book. What does that mean, Jen? That means like taking your phone and using the audio in instead of typing. And just maybe you're in the car and you have an idea and it's something that you do all day, every day. You are with clients and you just realize that, hey, I'm actually an expert in this. You literally talk it in, and then you say, please turn this into 5 points or an outline for a book. And then let it leverage the tool so that it can help ask you the questions and bring out what you need. Ask it to interview you on your expertise to develop your chapters. So that's some of the ways that we as entrepreneurs can be leveraging the information that GA has been bringing to us. And for sure, be leveraging AI for the line editing. That way you're reserving your brain power for the ideation, the strategic thinking, the things that we need to do that we don't want AI doing for us. So GA, we've covered a lot. We've covered how AI can help you write the book. We're going to talk about repurposing it and promoting it and building a platform, which is going to be really relevant. How can people reach out to you if they're interested?
Go to festivalsandtrials.com and find me on the social media links.
Fantastic. Festivalsandtrials.com if you didn't catch that, and you can find all the ways to reach out. So as we were saying, we do have to take a brief break, but we just covered how AI can be leveraged to help you write your book or your copy or your text. But next, what we're going to do is we're going to look at how do we accelerate what we're doing, leveraging the power of repurposing our content, promotion, building the things that we're going to need from the marketing standpoint, the sales and the copy standpoint in our businesses. We will be right back after these important messages.